apart, at least.
Right?
At least. So here we are, my ghetto fabulous version of a podcast. And today we have the amazing David Berger.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Show, Linda. I'm excited.
It's so great to have you. I tripped upon you online on your podcast. We've been friends a while. And usually when I join a podcast, if it's run by men, it's usually like, yeah, hush up, we're talking. And not David Berger. David Berger is complimentary. He chimes in. He even tells you your stuff is hilarious. So, of course, I liked him. So I invited him so you people here could hear him and get to know him. And I talked to him a minute before this started. David Berger, I've never really talked with you one-on-one except a few minutes ago. So I would like to get to know you as well as I'd like all my friends to know you. Who are you, David Berger?
Well, it's funny you asked it that way because when you said that, I was thinking of, if you remember Austin Powers and Mr. Evil or Dr. Evil?
Yes.
Okay, and then Dr. Evil is at the meeting with his son. And they're like, well, tell us about your childhood. And he's like, well, it's just your everyday childhood. Nipple piercings, beatings, slapping, things like that. But I always think of that about my life. Like how, just your normal, everyday Jewish, white, trashy, Aryan, psycho, ghetto, living in the project sort of wacky life. And, because I started off, my mom, well, let me tell you, my mom is a Sephardic Jew. Very dark skinned, short, has my features. My dad was an Ashkenazi Jew. He was 6'2", 350 pounds with a huge nose, diamond blue eyes, pale skin, curly blondish hair. And they got together and made Aryan or Tiny Viking. I don't know. I mean, it's like, whatever, but it's like they made this somehow. And I'm 100% Jewish. I always tell people, like, I'm 100% Jewish, but I look great on a Klan poster. Like, I can't go to their meetings, type of Jew, but I can be on the poster. I don't want to go. There's free coffee, I'm in. So anyway, I started out in Granada Hills, California, in a nice house, two-story house up in Granada Hills, big backyard. My dad owned a importing company, and he was from Brooklyn, New York, a Brooklyn Jew. So he had an importing company, and he started a soccer league up in North Hills under ASO, and built this whole soccer complex. We played soccer. He coached. My mom coached. My mom was like drop dead gorgeous, just like beautiful woman. Everyone was like in love with my mom. And, I was like, my dad was this like, outspoken, friendly. Everyone loved him, joking, kind of huge Brooklyn Jew. And so we had this perfect life. My older sister was like, dark skin, diamond blue eyes, tall. And so everyone loved, it's this whole thing. We played soccer. And then one day I kind of came home from school and everything was roped off, and the IRS and the FBI had taken our home, like confiscated our house. And my mom was in front crying. My dad was gone. And apparently they came after him for racketeering and tax evasion. And we came home from school. And so we were like, fuck, we didn't know what to do, And so we stayed at my grandma's for a couple nights, and then my mom figured some shit out, and I ended up in Weymouth. And I always feel like I was passing the Jeffersons while they were moving on up and we were moving on down. Because we always knew about Pacoima growing up. Not only do you never want to go there, you don't want to know anyone who's been there. And so growing up in Granada Hills, Pacoima, you may as well have been talking about Harlem or South Central, And it was like, this horrible area. And all of a sudden I'm there. And my first day there, I get robbed by two adult black men, rob me with a knife, take a neck. I'm like, maybe 11.
Oh my gosh.
I'd only grown up in Granada Hills, and it was like you know, it was just different. You know, it was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, you know, unfortunately, I was a troubled kid in Granada Hills. Like, I was violent and angry. And so when I hit Pacoima, I was just a standard kid. You know, like, I fit in perfectly, but I wasn't the crazy one anymore. I was no longer, like, the bad kid at school. I was just another kid at school. You know, with a knife, some weed, you know, a little bit of an alcohol buzz going. And, you know, it was like, and so I started going to school, and I ended up, you know, getting all kinds of trouble. My mom was a total alcoholic, but when we had money, she was just funny and beautiful. And then she marries this total, like, prejudiced, white trash, bare belly. He had a shirt, I swear to Jesus, this guy had a shirt said mustache rides 5 cents. No lie, that guy referred to women as chicks and broads and didn't see a problem with it. You know, he was a complete moron. You know, he knew exactly why other races were dumber. And I was like, oh my God. And see, my dad had not one prejudice bone in his body, not one show. If my dad could give a fuck what you were, what was going on, did he want to have sex with you, or did you have money to give him? Other than that, he didn't care. Like, he truly never had a prejudice. He never raised me and my sisters as different.
Nope.
He cared. I remember when I was a young kid, because my dad ended up on the run for a while, and so we would still go see him after a year, because he was disappeared for like a year. And after a year, he'd show up, and then we'd go with him for a while, but he'd always be in either a motel. Like, he'd go to a new town, start out in a motel or a trailer, and then he'd end up in like some sick pool home or a mini mansion. And then what he'd do is he'd rent these mini mansions and stuff, and he would take them, and then he'd re-rent them 30 times. But with a move-in date 2 months ahead, but the price for them was perfect. Like, it was such a great price. So, like, we lived in a mini mansion next to the Anheuser-Busch people in Anaheim, up in the Anaheim Hills, and by the mall. And so we lived by them. We lived in this huge mini mansion there, Arizona, different places, but then he'd re-rent them for like, you know, $3-4 grand a month back then. This is the 80s. And so he'd re-rent them for $3-4 grand a month, 30-40 people, with a move-in date for like 2-3 months. And then when he'd get all the money, we're gone. We're off to another state. You know, I remember I came out of school one day. He was there in a motorhome. We're ready to go. And he had this wife, my stepmom, Sheila. Wonderful. But she was really close to my age. Like, she was like 20-something, 21, 22. And, you know, he was much older. And she was a Miss Anaheim.
What? Really?
Yeah, my dad's second wife. Yeah. Women loved my dad. I mean, he was a big fat dude, but he was that tall fat guy. But women loved him, but because in truth, he never. Well, one, like, if I ever hit a woman, my dad would come back from the dead and get me. You know, I mean, like.
He'd come to what?
Oh, sorry. I said if I ever hit a woman, my dad would come back from the dead and get me. I was just brought up. Someone was saying the other day, what makes a man? And I said, what makes a man is we jump in front of the beat. We take the bullet, we push the car, we walk in the rain. We go walk for help. And the only reason, not because we're tougher, we don't reproduce. One man makes it, he can impregnate and start another world with multiple women. One woman makes it, you're down to one birth every year.
Yeah.
The difference of survival of the race is the only difference of what makes a man and a woman is you just died first because we don't reproduce. Like, we don't have babies, so we just die first. That's all. We don't get to tell anyone what to do. We're not smarter. We're not stronger. We're not braver. We're not faster. We're not anything better. And my dad brought me up to see things always like that, you know? And so anyway, so he was on the run, and he'd start these different companies, and he'd start these scams. And I remember one time.
Do you know this is exactly my life story?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, well, let's see. We'll see how it turns out then.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. No. So I'm in his office. And again, my dad used to walk around, big fat dude, walked around with the Bank of America. You remember the blue Bank of America money pouches with the regular bank? He walked around that, tucked between his pants and his fat. The other side had a 38. Oh, okay. And he was the guy who wore slip-on shoes and had jumpsuit, like sweatsuits, like the velour and the matching sweatsuit.
Uh-huh.
But again, 350, big tough dude. You know, I mean, like, you didn't fuck with my dad. At the same time, we were never ever abused. He was never like a bad dad, like in that way, you know, or any other way like that. And so he was just a con man. You know, his dad died when he was young. He had an identical twin brother. They conned everyone because his mom brought him to Fairfax, Beverly Hills area from New York, and they were on the poor part of that cusp, but hanging out with the richest kids. So they found a way to get all their money and then became cons. And so anyway, this guy comes into my dad's office, right? And he goes, and I was sitting in there, and he goes, hey, Mr. Berger, can I talk to you? This whole thing. And he's like, well, Mr. Berger, I got to tell you because someone found out, and before you find out, I want to be the one to tell you. I'm gay. My dad, without hesitation, goes, yeah, me too. Happiest guy you'll ever meet. What do you want? And the guy goes, no, Mr. Berger. He goes, I'm a homosexual. He goes, okay. I mean, like, he goes, are you hitting on me? No. He goes, okay, then whatever. He goes, Here's how it works. You produce and bring in money, or you're fired. Like everyone. Don't care what you do once you leave here.
That's just like my dad.
Just stuck in my head. You know, like it's funny because I speak my mind, and I've had people look at my face. That's why I say I look great on a Klan poster, not the person you think I am. I'm a Jew, I'm a special education teacher, I'm a father, you know, things like that. But it's like, but you look at this, and you get so mad, but that was the thing is, yeah, I've never thought of men and women as different. I've never given a shit. Like, I'll get into that in a minute. But so anyway, years later, so I drop out of the school. All these things, my life gets kind of crazy. My mom moved us to Pacoima. That's where, so we ended up there. All this stuff. So I'm moving back and forth between them. I'm getting into trouble. I'm kicked out of school all the time. I had to go to one of those schools where it's like a police school, like you have to be walked to the bathroom. I wasn't allowed to go to your lunch. You were walked to lunch. You had a guard, like a security person with like 5 of us. And it was just ridiculousness, I had to go to hypnotherapy. It was all bullshit anyway, Like people didn't understand. My dad had disappeared. Things were crazy. My mom had some pieces of shit. My mom ended up fucking my sister's fiance.
What?
Yeah, my mom was so drop dead gorgeous. I do a whole bit about, pardon if I want to fuck my mom in a Freudian way. And it's like, because she was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so everyone. So my sister was, but anyway, my mom was a piece of shit. Always a piece of shit, And so, yeah, she had sex with my sister's fiance because she's a piece of shit. And yet she's gorgeous. She could have met, a million guys would have lined up. She couldn't have just done that, She had to be a scumbag like that. That was her credo or motto, be as scummy as you can. Marsha Scour, and I'm dirty, And it was like, and so it's like, so we would do this stuff. That was her hashtag, Marsha Scour, and I'm dirty. Which was weird. She did it in the personals because there wasn't computers back then. No, but so she's like doing whatever. Then she meets this guy, the white trashy guy. He's a piece of shit. All this stuff. She gets with him. Anyway, my dad ends up getting killed. So I find my dad shot to death in Anaheim. I'm about 16, almost 16. Me and my younger sister there, and his wife, and we get back, and the door was like bashed open, and he was up toward the top, and I went up there and I found him, and he was killed. Yeah, my dad was my best friend in the world, but I was like 16 at the time, and then everything for me went woo. And so I started kind of getting into drugs, smoking crack, doing this. I was already in trouble anyway and doing shit. And so I dropped out of school. Last grade I completed by that time was 8th. So I hadn't even completed a high school year. I kept bitching, things like that. And so then I just went off the hook. My mom's got the scum boyfriend. He hits her one time. I stab him. He lives, unfortunately. Blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, I'm running the streets. I'm doing this. I'm getting in trouble, selling drugs. It's funny. If you do comedy, so every male comic used to deal 1,000 kilos at a time. Every ex-drug dealer dealt in billions of pounds, and they all worked with Al Capone. I dealt in shitty little grams of coke and 8 balls at best. I bought my drugs from this gang member that I knew from the gym. And, you know what I'm saying? I'd go sell it in the rich areas because they didn't want to come down there. And so, you know, the price, you know, shit, I get in trouble, but I made money and it wasn't much, you know, a few hundred, a few thousand at a time, big deal. You know, it never was big time.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so I did it. I had friends. I hung out in Pacoima. I used to hang out with guys from Latin Times Pacoima or Shaky Cat, Midgets, stuff like that, San Fernando, things like that during the time when there were the gang wars going on heavily there. So I grew up there and just kind of got even way worse. Then I got into working out, and I got to like 200 something pounds, and I was already violent. And by the time I was like 20 something, I had 2 strikes to life for attempted murders. I was an 8th grade dropout. I had beat the shit out of my mom's husband for hitting my little brother because my mom's husband was a white trash racist piece of shit. And so I beat the crap out of him for hitting my brother. So they never got abused growing up, thank God. But because I had a brother who was 18 years younger than me and a sister who was 20 some years younger. And because my mom's husband was like 14 years younger than her. He was close to our age. So when I kicked his ass, I didn't kick an old man's ass. I kicked this guy who used to go around, you know, talk about, he'd yell, talk shit to people, and talk down to people who worked, and call people Jose, whose name was not ever fucking Jose. And I hate that shit when people go, hey, Paco, hey, fuck you. You know, and I like white people. I'm not one of these people who stands up for everyone. Just don't be a total dick in the world, you know? Anyway, he was that guy. He was the idiot. And you know, I want to say he was like this little dick asshole. But he got drunk and walked around naked, and he had a huge fucking dick. Like, I mean, like, huge. I can't even be like, yeah, he acted like that because he had a little dick. No, he had 5 people's dicks. Like, it was like, but you know, he didn't even have to be an asshole, you know. But he chose to. It made him worse.
That makes it worse.
For a reason, yeah. It was like that one show, The Mick, where she's like, yeah, just pants him. He's like, I did. He was huge. I was lucky he didn't hit me with it. You know? But yeah, no, so he had a huge dick. I'm assuming that's why my mom was with him, because my mom was being like courted by like dudes that had tons of money, all this stuff, great looking guys. And she went with dopey white trash beer belly guy. And it was like, oh, now I get it. You know? You know, I mean, it is what it is. And so anyway, but yeah, I was going through all that shit, and I was getting in trouble, and I started working, and I stopped getting as much trouble. But I started working, and I was doing waitering and doing this and doing that, whatever, and I was lost. And I met my first wife, and she got me to do my GED and go back to school, and I did, and I went to college, and it was easy. I was surprised, and I became a teacher.
That is
I'm a special education teacher.
Wow. I bet you're one of... And what ages... Like, what ages are your children? And tell me about special education. You must really understand kids.
Well, I'll tell you this. My children, I don't have any fucking idea how old they are. As far as the special education, I mean, they can't tell on me. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much crashed through the whole class. I have, my oldest daughter is 19. She was up at Syracuse at the university. She was on a full ride for academics. She's amazing. She's choir, all this stuff. She's the greatest kid. Her name's Jo. And just fantastic, right? Gorgeous. Just a great, all-around great kid. Not like, oh, my kid. No. She's like gotten her own full scholarship. She's an RA, so she doesn't even pay for room and board. She was like president of choir. She sang at Carnegie Hall. She did choir in Hawaii. Like all these different things. She played soccer goalie, all-stars, all these things. Like just amazing, never in trouble. My son, who is graduating this year, is possibly going to Marymount Manhattan. He got a scholarship to there for business law, and he loves it because it's the theater school. Because unfortunately, because of being around me and stuff, he's got that little want to be a comic or want to be an actor bug, and I'm like, and I've just I went cool, but I believe, like a lot of parents don't understand that, like when your kids are little, you have to sit down with them. You have to take time to completely mind fuck them so bad in every possible way you can. Like every one of my children, I have told them from the age of 2 on what college they'll go to, what they'll major in. I have told them everything about their lives because what parents don't understand is your children are going to rebel. Set up where they rebel from. My kids told me, Dad, fuck you. I'm going to this university. I went to school online. What do you think? I have an alma mater? I told my daughter my oldest, I told her she was going to Stanford for law. I don't even know where Stanford is. Where to Jesus. I thought it was in Frisco. I thought Stanford was in Frisco or something. My son, I picked UCLA because I couldn't think of another fucking school. UCLA, I fucking hate that school. It's a stupid school in a stupid city. You know, I mean, it's just like, ugh. And so, but I picked that, and I told him he was going to be a doctor. My youngest daughter, from my second marriage, I told her she's going to Brown. I don't even know why. I thought Brown was a black school. I swear to Jesus, I'm not even lying. Like, no, like, not even a silly. But I don't know this shit. I just know mindfuck them. So I told them everything they're doing, but my kids have rebelled by telling me what college they'll go to. If I told them you're going to college, no, I'm not. Fuck that. I told them what college, what they do, and they told me, fuck you, Dad, I'm going to this college, and I'm doing, like my daughter's being a psychologist. My son's going entertainment law. Boy, did they show me. I mean, that's what people forget, though. It's like you don't deal with your kids, and you don't hurt your kids ever. I mean, if you have children, it's your responsibility. I say this, it's like I have never looked at my kids to thank me for giving them life. I've never looked at my kids to ever owe me. I owe them from the day they're born to the day they die or the day I die. I owe them because I brought them here. I owe them because I made them live. And I did it for my life. I did it for me. So I owe them. And that's what a lot of parents don't get is you owe your children. They don't owe you. You didn't give them life. You made them live. They didn't ask you. You give someone something they asked for.
That's interesting.
We didn't give slaves working conditions. We enslaved them. We didn't give our children life. We made them live.
That's a good point. I have
look at the world.
Yeah, I have a daughter that's going to be 44, and she lives.
Hottie. Sorry, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but whoa, shut up, really.
I'm 69.
50.
I'm 69 years old.
I was born in 69.
That's a good year. I graduated that year, and my daughter and I were like sisters, and I spoiled her like she was all I had. And then I got hit by a drunk driver, and she took care of me for like 16 years while my brain was rehabilitating. And now we have time apart for, us to try to heal what all transpired when she was taking care of me instead of having a life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's when I entered into comedy.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a different situation because an accident happened.
Yes.
You didn't just go, hey, I'm not going to do shit. Take care of me.
No.
You weren't like Mommy Dearest. You just bad move. You got hit by a car. You had some real serious. That's where your kids step up, and it's beautiful. Like my children have stepped up a lot for me in the time. Like my ex, I recently got divorced again, like a year or two ago, or separated. I'm finishing getting divorced. My biggest problem with the coronavirus is it's keeping me from getting the finalization on the goddamn divorce. But yeah, so my second wife, and I do a bit about it. I always say like my second wife's a lot younger. It's a weird thing. Like there's 18 years between me and her, and I say it's weird right now picking her up from school. But I go, but next year she starts driving, so that's anyway. So there was 18 years, but I'm 50. And it was my ex-wife was 6 feet tall, black with long dreadlocks. But I don't say it for any reason other than when I met her, she was 6 feet tall with the long dreads. She could have been anywhere from whatever to 30 something.
Yeah.
But everyone she was around was 28 to 30s. So my assumption right off, because I even said to her one time, like, you guys are all a little younger than me. I'm 39. And she goes, oh yeah. I go, you guys are all like 30s, late 20s, 30s. And she's like, yeah. Never said no. And we were at a bar one time, and she gets carded, and he goes, oh, you just barely made it.
Wow.
And I go, what? I go, how old are you? And she wasn't even lying. She wasn't hiding it. She just probably didn't process it when I said the thing. But she goes, oh, 21. Like, did you not know? Because I knew her ex-boyfriend. And it was like, that's how we met. And so, but she didn't cheat on him, and I didn't jump in. It was like we met, and we just liked each other, and then they broke up, and then we hooked back up. Like, we hooked up later. It was the thing, but yeah, we got married right away. After about a month or two, we were in Vegas as a joke. I was just like, want to get married? She's like, yeah. And we did. And then she got pregnant, but she didn't want any kids, and I didn't want any more kids. And then she just got pregnant. Like, I don't know, it was our stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't want all this, but hey, there I am, waiting for the last second to pull out. Damn it, it feels good. And, it's like it's the saying when guys go, I didn't know I was going to come. Of course you did. We all do. Not one guy in this world didn't know that was going to happen. He just didn't want you to stop doing it. Well, it did. And I had a girl that forever I kept trying to get to finish like that, like stay down there, stay down. Finally, one time she did. Because it bugged her that I would try and get her to do that, and she finally just did one time. And I'm like, thank God. And then she turned and spit it all over me. I died laughing. I thought that's fucking perfect karma. Yeah, I've been trying to like make you do this, and so you did, and then spit my own cum all over me. How do you like it? Do you want it on you? And I wasn't even mad. I just thought that's brilliant.
It is funny. I haven't heard of anybody doing that.
Yeah. Oh, I had a girl I broke up with one time, and she just flipped on me because she told me, she goes, you gave me chlamydia. And I'm like, fuck. And so I'm like, holy shit. First of all, I didn't know really what it was, but it sounded horrible. And so I go flying to the doctor, Cigna. This is how long ago it was. I go to Cigna in North Hollywood. And if you know the test for chlamydia, right? It's that 700-foot fucking metal rod that it's small, but it feels this thick. And you have to shove it in your penis hole with a Q-tip. It's like a Q-tip on the end, metal rod in your penis hole. Worst thing in the world. Worst.
Oh my God.
So I did all this. I go through it. And they're like, you don't have anything. I call her. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck gave you this or whatever you're talking about, but I don't have shit. She goes, yeah, but how did you like the test? Right at that moment, I fell over laughing because I love brilliance.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to permanently hurt me. She didn't do anything to kill me. She didn't come ruin my stuff. She made me go shove a metal rod in my dick because I broke up with her. And I thought that's brilliant. Like, that's genius shit. But that's the problem with so many people is they get so mad over stuff that it isn't worth ever really getting physical or ugly. Like, I've never understood hitting women. My ex was saying I was abusive, the one I'm divorcing now. She's a lot younger. I have full custody of my daughter. And it was like a thing where she was like, long story short, I caught her with a pookie fucking pipe. I'm not recovering. I quit billions of years ago because it was a thing I did as a kid. I smoked crack. I stopped doing it before I ever had kids, before everything, before I ever got married the first time. And so, I smoked pot and I drank. And so, all of a sudden, me and my ex would smoke pot all the time and stuff and drink occasionally. I'm not a huge drinker until this whole fucking thing. I swear to God, now I'm like, every day. And I only do it for the cure. Anyway, so she takes me to court for a restraining order. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, what is she going to say? Like, what's she going to come up? Like, she's punched me like 4 or 5 different times in the back. I've never touched her. Ever. She threw a coffee cup. I do a bit. She threw a coffee cup at me and my daughter. And because she was pissed. And the coffee cup hits the floor. Coffee everywhere. Smashes the wood floor. Bounces up, hits the door. The coffee cup said, greatest mom. It wasn't hers. I bought it on sale because it was $1. So it wasn't even for her, but it said greatest mom. She throws it, hits the floor, bounces up, hits the door, barely chips. And all I thought was like, worst mom, greatest coffee cup ever. But true story, through the, all this stuff. So I'm like freaking because I have never hit a woman. I pulled my first wife's hair one time, like grabbed it and pulled it. it because she was walking out the door. I had my kids full time at that time too. I really piss women off, like where they leave me and the kids. But me and my ex though have been good friends forever. We raised my first two kids together, even though we were divorced. Go to all the same things, sit next to each other, all of us, even with my ex-wife now, like all of us together, never a problem. So it wasn't, there was never abuse in my first marriage. There was never a call for it or anything. And so, so I got my kids, all this stuff. Oh, the reason I pulled her hair, she was walking out one time. Okay.
1 second, someone's at my door.
Who is it? Six feet.
She wouldn't take that money.
Okay, thank you, bye, sorry. Sorry about that, David.
Don't worry about it. That's what makes this beautiful, is it's so organic, and it should be.
Somebody was trying to give me back a tip. They went to the dollar store for me yesterday and wouldn't take a $10 tip. So I got $10 back.
Oh, hell yeah. Rebate. But yeah. So I'm like freaky because I'm like, what is she going to say? Because the reason I pulled my first one is she was walking out the door because she didn't want to take the kids, so she had them every other weekend only. And she was trying to get out of it, and she was pissed I made her take them, my first two, and when they were little. And then she was walking out, she goes, say goodbye to them forever.
What?
And I just went, and I grabbed her by the hair, and I go, if you ever take my kids, I'll kill my way through your family till they're back. Know that. And I let go, and she punched me in the face, and I didn't touch her. And I understood her punching me in the face. I shouldn't have touched her hair. But don't ever threaten my kids.
No.
Like, if a woman touched my kid, I'd knock their face off and stomp them. I'd curb stomp them, because you're no longer a woman to me when you touch my kids.
Absolutely.
Talk about my kids, gender's out the door. When it's not to do with kids, gender exists 100%. I will walk away from a woman hitting me. I'll walk away from everything. I'll call the police on them. Let them be arrested. Go be with women who want to fight them.
Yes.
And in that sense. But, so anyway, so I'm freaking out. Like, what the fuck? Because there's a lot of guys, there's a ton of piece of shit dudes who hit women.
Yes.
There's also a ton of guys who are being accused of shit they've never done. And so I'm like going, oh, fuck. What's she going to try and say? Because I have video proof of shit. And my two kids from my first marriage are coming. My first wife wrote me an entire affidavit letter saying there was never, like, this guy's an asshole. He's a lot of things. He is never violent. Like, there's not with the kids, not with me, ever. He's a dick, but he's not violent. Like, she was honest about who I am.
That's great.
Not violent ever. Yeah, I don't do that shit. But, so I'm flipping. So my kids come down. My youngest daughter's there, ready to tell him, like, no, I've seen mom hit him. Like, da-da-da. They don't let kids in.
Cool.
So I'm like, now I have the braids, though. I'm this guy with braids, with my long braids. So I have my two long braids. I have this guy. I'm going into Compton court. She filed in Compton. She filed in Compton just to be a dick, so I had to travel. But I'm the one with my daughter, so she's making me travel down there with my daughter. Now, so here's the deal. So my other kids drove me down there and everything. So that's why, but everyone was there ready to do this. The judge did take the affidavit letter from my ex, but the kids weren't allowed in the courtroom to tell the judge, like, no, this is not what's going on. Like, we were all cool. Everything was wonderful. And then she got caught with meth. And this all went crazy because dad told her to get out, But so the whole thing was, okay, they don't let the kids in, nothing. So I get there. The judge is a heavy-set Mexican woman. The reporter, black woman. The bailiff, black woman. I walk in, they look at me like, hey, dead guy. Hey, guilty. Hey, wrong. And I'm just like, fuck. I haven't done anything. They go, hold on. I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be horrible. Like, whatever she says I did, they're going to. So the judge goes, okay, so, Miss Lewis, what, she goes, who has custody of the daughter? I go, well, she's with me right now, Your Honor. And she goes, okay, Miss Lewis, do you want your daughter for safety? She goes, well, no, right now. I go, oh, Your Honor, she's with her mom. They have an extra bedroom. Perfectly fine. She can have my daughter. It's no problem. I understand. For her safety. She's like, well, no, I can't take her right now. And this, and I go, well, no, it's okay. And the Your Honor's like, if you're worried about her, she goes, no, she's perfectly safe. Okay, well, you included her. She goes, okay. So tell me, what is it that he's done to you? She goes, well, okay. So he told me he was a substitute teacher, but he's a substitute teacher's aide. And I go, and the judge looks at her and I go, Your Honor, she goes, yeah. I go, here's my teaching ID. I'm neither. I'm an actual teacher. special education resource. Here's my ID. And I showed her. She goes, ma'am? She goes, okay, what? She goes, okay, well, he's also banned at the Comedy Store by Pauly Shore, which I'm not. I'm not. I wasn't even banned. I walked away a long time ago, and I went off on Pauly Shore. I wasn't banned by him or anything at the time, but it didn't even matter. The judge goes, ma'am, what are you talking about? She goes, what does this have to do with anything? Did he ever hit you? She's like, well, no. But, he would verbally, I go, Your Honor, I completely verbally abused her. I go, I caught her with meth. I've called her a piece of shit. I've called her garbage. She smoked meth with my daughter in the house. I go, I've called her every horrible term I can. I have, if that's verbal abuse, I've totally verbally abused her, yes. I told her nobody else would take her, so I let her stay to get her shit together. And then I would come back and she'd be laying around doing nothing, and I would tell her, you lazy piece of shit, how about you go walk out in the street and die? I was pissed. I was mad. Yes, but I never touched her. I go, but this, yeah. And Your Honor's like, and the judge is like, ma'am, did he do anything to you? And she goes, well, she first asked her, she goes, is this true? She goes, okay, I did smoke meth, but I'm clean now. Okay, but ma'am, did he touch you or do it? No. Case dismissed. She goes, sir, I'm sorry. The bailiff looks at me and she goes, I'm sorry. She felt so bad for hating me so much. But I've spent most of my life being this horrible, angry, racist band guy who hates women, hates this, I was attacked by a transgender person because what a woman said.
What?
I just go, hey, maybe you should calm down and listen to her. Oh, you have a problem. And just start going off on me about transgender. And they're like, you want to hit me, don't you? And I look, and this person was like 6'5". It's a comedian. Amazon Eve. You can look her up. She's apologized to me every day she's ever seen me since. Because she's yelling at me. She's going, I'll bet you want to hit me. I go, I kind of want to hug you. I go, I'm not. I go, if you're in my face because you think I'm not scared of you. Oh, you think you're. I go, no, I don't think I'm a tough guy. I don't have a problem with you, except you're kind of a dick. It was like, kind of that type of thing. Like, I didn't. She asked you if you were transgender because she was doing a comedy show for gay and transgender. She wanted you to be in it. You got mad at her. I simply said, I don't think she is. I thought you were a woman. Just so you know. I thought you were a woman this whole time we've been talking and everything. I thought because you were so tall is why you had a deeper voice. Like, I never thought for 1 second she was a guy. I swear to God. I thought she was kind of a masculine woman. I mean, and so it was like a weird, but anyway, after the whole thing, and then she just started feeling really bad, and then she looked into everything, my kids. That's the one thing is when people see my daughter, my youngest daughter, who's black and Jewish, people just, it's like, oh, or when they find out I'm a special ed teacher, that I speak Spanish. I always tell them, I'm so sorry I'm not the horrible person you prejudged me to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry I'm not a prejudger.
Yeah. People do make assumptions just on looks, and that's exactly what you're talking about, And with me, people never know what I am. So most of my, I can pass as not being Jewish. Most Jewish people don't know I'm Jewish. But, I never, ever once have passed on being Jewish. It's like,
that is the funniest thing in the world, because someone told me that. They go, yeah, you could just pretend you're not Jewish. I go, then that's the difference between me and you. I never would.
There you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't pretend I'm not who I am. I'm good with who I am.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'll show you the stupidest thing in the world. And kids, remember, this is why you don't get tattoos when you're 12 and drunk. I'll tell you this, I normally don't share this part because this happened, the writing happened after the tequila. The Jewish star came with the weed smoking. I think I was like 12 or 13. My neighbor was like 17, did tattoos in Pacoima. So, it's like that kind of neighborhood. And so the neighbor did tattoos, and I was with my friends, and one of them was getting a tattoo. And then all my relatives who actually had money had the Jewish stars, were bar mitzvah, things like that. I wasn't. And so I wanted a Jewish star. And so I go, hey, give me a tattoo of a Jewish star. He's like, all right. And then while he was starting to do the tattoo, I was drinking just like shots of tequila out of the bottle. You're fucking 12, 13, or 11, I think it was 11, 12, yeah. Right around there, like 11, you can get tattoos at that age. You know, all American. And so when I start getting drunk, I decide that it needs writing. And the best writing that could be on it would say, to die for. But see, when people ask you what it says, you're not going to say it in that tough voice every time. So when people go, hey, what does that say? I'd have to say each time, I'd have to say, to die for. Like I'm completely gay over the Jewish star. Like it is to die for. Oh my God. Liza, sing about it. Everybody, Jewish stars. And it's like, you know, meanwhile I got it from a gang member in a gang neighborhood, and I put writing on it that made it look like I'm doing show tunes. And I mean, it's just fantastic, you know? And so when people generally ask me, you know what I tell them? I go, it's Hebrew.
Oh my God.
Because it's just, it's stupid. You know, it's the one tattoo. I don't regret the star so much as the writing. It's the one tattoo of my regrets, though. Regrets. I got a tattoo here of my ex-wife, my last ex-wife's teeth marks, and she has the same. I could get it removed. I can get it removed so easy. But it's like, people don't get, when you got the tattoos, unless they're things like you know, marijuana leaf, or Yosemite Sam going back off, if you got tattoos that meant something to you, even if you're not with the person or you're not around that situation, that's like your memories. That's like photographs, you know? Why get rid of those? But the people get face tattoos and shit. I think that's great. I love that. I think that's the coolest thing in the world because they're going like, hey, you know what? No, it's not that I don't want a business job. I don't ever want to be able to work in anything but a skate shop. I only want to work at a skate shop, a weed place, a smoke shop. That's it. Or I want to give tours on Hollywood Boulevard to scare people. That's it.
I remember back in the day, if you had any piercings or tattoos, you couldn't get a job. And now people are, you know, like you can have a tattoo crawling across your face and work at Nordstrom's.
My last interview, the rules of the company was tattooed us on the guys. Yeah, no, it's insane. And well, that's why I teach my students now, though. I go, you guys should all get tattoos. Like your mailman, the nurse, me, your teacher. I got them. That's how cool they are, guys. They're super cool. Like every single person in the world. The one thing I love about my daughter's 19, my son's 17. Yeah, they've been convicted of like drug abuse. Yeah, they've been in jail for murder. Yeah, no, I'm joking. 19, 17, never been in trouble, knock on wood. No tattoos. Don't want tattoos. If this helps any parents out there, and it truly is priceless advice I'm giving you, if you're a new parent. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. This advice goes to those people that are 19 and 20. Even 16, as low as 16. If you plan on having kids and your life is already bullshit, like no, you already fucked it up. You sat in class blaming everyone but you. Your parents are crap. It's their fault, but they're not going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But that's already a thing. You know, you've already had your first cigarette of the morning at that age. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, 14, 15. You're a fuck up. You know, but you're not a fuck up because you're a fuck up. You're a fuck up because society sucks and they let you down. You know, I mean, it's true though. You know, society's let our kids down. Parents suck. Nobody's doing their job. That's perfectly fine. Here's what you need to do. You need to continue fucking up. Hardcore. You got to go to such levels with, at the same time, gather knowledge. Gather knowledge while you're fucking up. Then at some point, stop fucking up. But get to a point where you fucked up so much that there's still fuck up in you. Like you ain't gonna wash fuck up off you. And then you have your kids. And again, I go back to the rebellious thing. How do you rebel against a fuck up? You succeed. I didn't want to be this fucking loser. You think I want to be a grown man in a one-bedroom apartment in Hollywood? No, I love my kids. I love them enough to be this loser so they can be winners.
I love that.
You know what the Rockefeller kids are doing? They're sucking up fucking cocks and getting heroin for $5. That's what the Rockefellers are doing. The Kennedys? Shit, the Kennedys and everyone but Earl Skakel. They're all blowing people for a nickel. Because you know why? Because the Kennedy older people were winners. They let their kids down. Yeah. I'm a big enough fuck up that my kids had no choice but to win. There was no going lower. They weren't going to sink below me.
You know what?
Up or up.
It's funny because I know you really feel it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, everything I say is, there's always that touch of true because it is true. My kids are milder, they're mellower, but they are outspoken, but they're not like me. They don't go so far. They don't push it so far. They don't get it so crazy. Like I always say, I'm the guy who films when I want to film in the argument, and I generally start where I start being a dick. No matter what's going on. I did a thing at Subway where the guy was being such a fucking asshole. It was unbelievable. He literally refused to make me a salad because I didn't order at the same time I ordered my sandwich.
What?
That's what I said. I go, you're kidding, right? I go, oh, huh. He goes, no. He goes, you have to order. I go, no, I don't. I need to tell you what I want on my sandwich. And then I order the next thing. He goes, no, there's other people in line. You'll have to get back in line. And he was like Ukrainian or something, right? And I would go, are you out of your mind, bro? And now here's the thing. Through the whole video, you'll never hear me say anything about his job or his race or anything. I call him a cunty piece of fuck shit. I call him all kinds of names, but I never reference him being like, oh, you work at something. No. I don't believe in that shit. None of us are better than the other.
Yeah.
But I went off on him, right? But I start filming where I go, really, you fucking cunt fuck? The film which was live, of course, and had no reference to why I'm now screaming, really, you fucking cunt fuck? Because he refused to even give me my sandwich at that point. And so I lose it. But then, I'm an idiot because that's what I do, everything right from my thought. And so I'm putting it live, like, I'll show him. And I just look like I'm screaming at the Subway guy for some reason.
I have allergies to some food, and I went to a restaurant, ordered a chef salad, and they put the seasoning on it. Well, I'm allergic to seasonings. I don't even know why I went to a restaurant. And I asked them, I've told you I'm allergic to seasonings. And they go, get out of here and never come back. You're banned from our restaurant. I wish I would have filmed it.
Right? But it's like, but you got to film it at the right point. But you know what it is? You know what a lot of people do not understand? That they always wonder, how does this person go viral? How did they go viral? I have a few friends that have gone viral. And they'll never tell you this, and they hate that I know. But I know they went viral from buying the likes.
Oh.
They bought 10, 15, some 100,000 likes. But views, then from there, your video gets top play. So people check it out of instinct.
Got it.
Once you have like 100,000 views or 10,000 views, they start moving it up. So then you're being shown more. And then everyone's seeing it. Like there's people who do what you're doing right now or what I do with podcasts, with TikToks, things like that. They advertise. They do the sponsored ads. They do this, but they do it where it doesn't look like it. And then you're wondering, like, how are they getting all these views? Because they just bought them. Or they have people going on there, boom, 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 keep starting accounts and liking them, starting accounts and viewing them. Some people do it themselves. Dane Cook was the greatest. The 1 million Facebook friends.
Wow.
It was the ultimate marketing. Dane Cook was the first person to get, 1 million MySpace friends.
Whoa.
Yeah, 1 million MySpace friends.
I told you that I spoiled my daughter. She's my only child. So she helped me get through brain trauma, right? And then she was looking for a job. She was trying to get out and look for a job. She got depressed. No one would hire her. So I went to Walgreens and I bought one of them boards, those foam boards for $1. And I wrote on there, hire my daughter, I'll give you $500. And I stood out on the corner of Walgreens. I didn't even go anywhere. I just stood right where I bought the sign and the pen. And cars were going by. Pretty soon the news crews show up. The story went all over the freaking world. Romania saw it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, God.
That's the greatest thing. See, that's the rare organic moment. enough that word got out.
Yeah.
And spread. And then the news people showed up. Once the news people are there, done.
Yeah. That's
It's
it.
everywhere. And that's the thing. But how are you going viral when that never happened?
I know it. Exactly.
Right? And that's the point. That's what I'm saying is yours is real. You know how you know who's real? Remember the dude, the old black dude that they found on the corner singing?
With the velvet voice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
He was just like a drunk there singing. And they, no, fuck this. This dude needs to be singing. Like, how did he not get discovered?
I know.
And then you found out because he's the worst piece of shit human ever. He's the biggest fucking scumbag the world has seen. He's a piece of shit deadbeat father. He was an abusive husband, an abusive father. And then when he got all this money, he looked at his kids like they were vultures for wanting some, even though he was a fuckhead his whole life. He was the worst piece of shit person. That's how you knew it was real.
Yeah.
Because how it turned out. Yeah, he's the guy on the corner singing with the perfect voice. Kind of a reason. Because the other people with the great voices that didn't make it, that weren't total pieces of shit, they weren't alcoholics on the street. They went just, okay, this sucks. I'm going to get a shit job or a good job or a regular job or go back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they did other things. The ones who go to that, like drugs, it's because they have so many, these other issues going on. And this guy was an abusive, hiding from child support, everything, piece of shit. Someone saw him and went, oh, I got to make a big deal out of him. That's how you know it's real, though. They didn't background check him. Justin Bieber was a whole bullshit. The uncle was in the entertainment business. The whole viral video, all of a sudden out of nowhere, was a setup. It was produced, it was set up, it was likes were bought, everything else.
Wow.
Total lie. Justin Bieber's career is a total lie, and it was made by people who were in the industry. But you know that because the aftermath went perfect. There was never a hiccup until he got older and realized what a fraud his whole life was, and then he wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah. And now he's a Christian, married Christian husband. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's a Christian gangster.
Yeah.
Suburban kid from Canada.
He
Drake should fucking make the worst kid ever.
Speaking of crazy people, Madonna, most people don't know the crazy stuff she did in the beginning to get famous.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was having sex with stars originally to get in. Like, that's what so many people don't understand. Because, you know, it was funny when the whole Weinstein thing first happened and everything came out, and really nobody had said shit in this method. And I said, yeah. Because, funny enough, a couple years before that, I had done a story on my podcast about this guy, Harvey Weinstein, and honeypots who were getting him women.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's on like the episode was recorded, so it's dated and everything. When I did this, way before anything came out, I called out Charlie Sheen for being HIV positive way before he came out.
No way.
Again, these are recorded podcasts. Yeah, I said he was HIV positive and he spread it, and then he came out HIV positive. Now I'll tell you this: both stories I got from my ex-wife, and I think she pulled them out of her ass from some dumb gossip site, but they happen to be true.
Wow.
Like I researched them. I didn't do deep work. It just happened. And, you know, and so it was like, you know, whatever. But so I did those and this and that. But so with the Weinstein thing, I had done a post and I said, yeah, the women that are saying that they did shit with him to get ahead and he used them and this and that, they're pieces of shit. Fuck them. The women that are victims are the ones who came out. They got blacklisted, and these women didn't stand up for him either.
That's right.
These women knew what happened. They were summoned to court. They denied what happened. They lied for Weinstein. They backed him. A lot of the women who came out after the fact were the ones that protected him.
That's right.
That did for him. And
that's right.
Them like fuck him. He should get stalked to death. So should they. They're all rotten for what they did and denying the real victims who came forward and were brave and shutting them down. Everyone who did that was garbage. Well, people start flipping. I don't give a shit because I don't like friends and I don't care about people and I've never meant to be rich or famous. You know, I'm just meant to be an asshole and speak my mind. And that's what I do. I don't do anything to offend. I don't. And then all these people unfriend me and all this stuff, right? All these women. I had this one girl, Izzy Salhani, a comic. She's like this tall. She's a very butch lesbian. She looks exactly like my son. I told her, I go, it's adorable. I go, it's so weird. You're like a feminine version of my, I go, you're a cute version of my son. When I did the Weinstein post, she brings that up and says how I would hit on her.
Oh.
Am I telling you look like my son should be hitting on you? I don't want to fuck my son. But if I showed you the pictures, they're twins. And I showed it, and people were like, oh my God. All these things. This one girl was mad at me, Maral Adams. She was pissed off at me, and she's like, I want to talk to you about the post. This was after it already came out. It was a big, and so I'll tell you, she was like, I want to talk to you. I go, I don't care. So I'm not going to explain myself. It's a fucking Facebook post.
Exactly.
She's like, well, we need to talk. I go, sweetie, let me explain something to you. I go, you didn't raise your child. You left her. I have no respect for your opinion. She makes a post saying that I said she deserves to get raped.
What?
Michael Amico and another person, Jonathan David, were all there. Michael Amico came straight out and said, and Michael Amico's a coward. He goes, this is wrong. I was right there. That never happened. And all this stuff. But what she did is she posted this. Now she knows casting directors. I had different casting directors tell me they'll never work with me and all this stuff, right? I've raised my kids on my own. I'm a school teacher. I'm a Jew. I'm a father. I'm all these things, right? She is a piece of shit who only, literally, self-admittedly, cares only about herself and never wanted to raise her kid. Says that out loud. That she never wanted to be a mom, never raised her kid. All this stuff, right? Left it to the dad, left him, cheated on him. All these things openly, her admittance. But I'm the one getting, and these people banned me, blacklisted over what she said, then she blocked me, and then they blocked me. So it was never them finding out that, oh, this isn't even possible. Or it was never them when all the actors and other people stood up and said, wait, screw this. Some of these women coming out helped him, and they're bullshit. And then when they said that, and everyone started agreeing, people started trying to refriend me.
Got it.
I had people telling me, hey, are you going to accept? I go, no, we were friends. Oh, no, it wasn't because of that. Yeah, it wasn't. It was bye. I don't need that. If you hate me that quick, it's okay. I didn't need you then. I don't need you now.
Exactly.
And that's what people don't get is we've hit a world. See, here's the thing. When people were making jokes about the Kobe situation where 9 people lost their lives, and they were saying good, and they were saying, when someone did a joke about God picking Kobe for his team with a toy thing, okay, God's excited Kobe's there. You're talking about how great a basketball player Kobe is. Yes, it's about his death, but at the same time, you're talking about he was so great, God's excited.
Exactly.
When you say, I'm glad that happened, he's a rapist, and like Ari Shaffir said, when Ari went off and talking about he's glad he's dead, and everyone knew Ari was this trust fund piece of shit anyway, and he pretends to be the amazing racist all this crap. He's a trust fund mama's boy. He was bar mitzvahed. He's like what we consider, pardon my language, but the kite. You know what I'm saying? He's the worst Jew ever. And so he said he's glad that rapist died and everybody in the plane crash died, da-da-da. And it was like, no, these are children's lives. These are people's lives. And I don't care what you thought of Kobe or whatever. Don't enjoy someone's death. I don't enjoy anyone's death.
No.
And that's the thing. And it was like certain things like that. I'm saying that's kind of like you're making fun of such a tragedy that hurt people, but you're glad the tragedy happened.
Yeah. You're sick.
It's different. Yeah. It's not making light of a bad situation. Like a lot of people are making coronavirus jokes. Here's the thing. Coronavirus is not affecting 5 people. It's affecting all of us. Every one of us is having to deal with this. Whatever we think, if you think it's a hoax, you're right in your mind. You think it's 100% real, you're right in your mind. Because you know who your expert is? No better than anyone else's. Everyone has experts. Everyone has the news who will back them. Everyone has their media sources, and everyone believes they're right, and everyone else is stupid and doesn't get it. We're all stupid. We're all guessing. We're all hoping we're right.
Yeah.
There might be some people who know. Like I said, it could be a thing. Imagine like this. Like all of a sudden, a few months from now, Donald Trump comes out and goes, okay, look, here's the thing. All right, so what I did was I took everyone and I put them in suicide, and I fixed the environment, and I changed the economy, and now we're back to the gold standard, and you're welcome. Thank you, I'm a hero. COVID-19 a fake. All right, you're welcome. Okay, that's a possibility, right? Okay, or the Democrats, turns out they did it for that reason. Or the Democrats, turns out they did it to stop Trump. Or COVID-19 is something from a bat. Or COVID-19 was created in a Chinese plant. Or COVID-19 was created by the CIA and put in China. And all of these things make sense. They're all possible. But we each have decided that everyone else is stupid and we're smart.
Yeah, that's
I know I'm stupid.
every human thinks they're better than somebody else about religion, about politics, about anything.
And you know what they'll tell you to that? Someone will tell you that's not true. I don't think I'm any better than a janitor. I don't think I'm any better than a dishwasher. Well, then why did you pick them? Why did you pick them to mention? If you didn't already think you were better than them. You didn't say, I don't think I'm better than a scientist. I don't think I'm better than a school teacher. You didn't say that. You picked people you thought were garbage. And you said, I don't think I'm better than that garbage. You didn't say garbage. You meant it. And that's what people don't get. Yeah, you're right. Is we think we're better than everyone because we say it when we prove we're not. By saying, I'm not better than the shitty people in the world. Well, why do you think they're shitty then?
I have to tell you, speaking of Kobe, so I'm from Portland, Oregon, and my sister, I got to meet Kobe. He was at a hotel because the Lakers were coming to beat the Trailblazers again. And so I went to the hotel and I sat there for hours waiting for him to come down to the lobby. And he came down, there was a 9-year-old boy in the lobby with an Instamatic camera, because it was in those days. And he wanted a picture of Kobe, but this little boy was 9 years old in a lobby of the Benson Hotel by himself. And I said, what are you doing? Where are your parents, for God's sakes? Do you want to be on a milk carton? And he goes, well, I'm here to get a picture of Kobe. And I go, well, me too, but, my parents don't need to be with me. And I said, so I said, do you want me to help you get a picture? And he said, yeah. So Kobe came down and Kobe went up to the desk to turn in some laundry. And I tapped Kobe on the shoulder from behind and he turned around and I said, this little 9-year-old sitting here all by himself for hours to get a picture with you. Would you mind? And Kobe, those were the days Kobe didn't do that. But
Not up to that, yeah.
he let that little boy get a picture of him.
The fact is, what people don't deal with is you can have your opinion, and I cannot tell you he did not rape that woman because I wasn't there. Someone else can have their opinion, and I can't tell them that he did rape that woman because I wasn't there. What you can't dispute is Kobe Bryant was not convicted of rape.
That's right.
Whatever reason you want to come up with that happened. If you want to say he bought her off, fine. If you want to say she blackmailed him and he paid her just to finish it, that's fine too. Both are plausible. Both have reason to it.
Yep.
No problem. The fact I deal with is he was not convicted of rape. He does not register as a sex felon. He does not register as a sexual offender. There were no charges finalized against him. There was no conviction. And so he is not a rapist in the eyes of the law. You can have your opinion, but again, they always say opinions are like assholes.
That's
they
right.
all can really take bigger dicks than they act like they can. No, I just hate when women pretend they can't do anything. I'm kidding.
I've seen when comedians start getting really good gigs, some women will fake it like they've been, assaulted just because they don't want to compete. I've seen really nasty women bring up fake charges and never take a man to court in the comedy world to keep a man down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I've been banned by so many casting directors when she did that. Because you know why? If I saw someone telling me how some guy told them they deserved to be raped, and I know this person, even if I don't know the person, but I see this little short-haired blonde girl, right? My age, but not young, but short And now this is someone I gave a road gig to. We were buddies until I told her I didn't give a fuck about her opinion. And I wasn't going to explain myself. Everything was cool. She loved me. I was the best. I have things written by her how I'm the greatest, right? But at that moment, she decided I didn't do what she wanted.
Exactly.
She's super liberal and she's all this stuff, right? I always say liber Nazi. and so she got me banned by multiple things. Now she doesn't take care of her kid, who's grown. She never did. I do take care of my kids full time, and I pay for them, and I take care of them, and I feed them. She stepped in to take money and gigs out of my kids' mouths. But she was able to do that because all these people just bought into it because of how she looked and how I looked with my braids and everything. And I look like this white supremacist, like hippie biker guy or a biker guy or a white fucking guy from a bing-a-ling-a-ling-ding-ding and, all this shit. And so she was able to do that. And she cost me a lot of gigs. There was another person who put out a thing saying I was a drug dealer, or a domestic abuser, a drug dealer, a deadbeat dad. All while I have my kids full time, because I told on the manager at the Comedy Store, this guy Lance, back in the day. He filmed women blowing him in the office, and we were all in the back room one time talking, and he breaks it out. And he starts showing people. I go, "You're a fucking piece of shit." I go, "Fuck you!" I swear to God, I should kick your fucking ass, but I got kids. I go, "I should fucking kill you, dude. You're a piece." I go, "I'm fucking telling everyone." And I went and I told these girls that, "Hey, this motherfucker just showed you guys blowing under this man." They got pissed. They went to the manager, Dean at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Never know what happened. Had no idea what happened, right? Now, I was getting 3-4 gigs a week at the Comedy Store. I was doing the main room almost every Saturday.
Wow.
I was hosting either Sunday or Monday potluck every time. And I'd get either a Tuesday or Thursday in the OR every week, right? I had worked there. I was made a paid regular by Mitzi, passed by Mitzi, and so back in 2008. And so I was working nonstop. I was getting gigs. I was doing Vegas. I'm doing Washington. I was in Mexico. I was all over. I did Amsterdam, the Amsterdam-Germany run. I was doing all this shit, making good money. So I told all of them, and apparently whatever got settled, got settled. And all of a sudden, I stopped getting work, and I stopped getting gigs. And all this stuff started happening. I didn't even think about it, honestly, in my head, because I'd also, a couple days later, went off on Pauly Shore. And on stage, jokingly, but I told her, "Hey guys, this next guy, fucking mom created the greatest place in the world. Best he ever did was the fucking weasel." I go, "Give it up for this piece of shit. He never said my name the whole time." And this and that, right? So he gets pissed and he goes off and it didn't matter, right? No big deal. And it wasn't that big a deal, but I thought that's what happened. And that's why they weren't giving me gigs at the Comedy Store. Fine, whatever. I walked away. I'm like, fuck this anyway, right? Right at the point. I was pissed. And so I didn't realize it. And then I wasn't getting gigs. And then I couldn't get booked anywhere. I'm thinking people must just not like my comedy. And then I come to find out, Booker in Texas, I did a show with him. I did a show with Corey and Chad, the Smash Brothers.
Yep.
Last minute. Their headline or their feature bailed. So it was a last minute thing. I had to drive out there that night. Guy didn't even know me. Boom, I go up, have the weekend. We have great times, great shows, everything, right? Guy loves me. All of a sudden, I get this letter in the mail saying, "Hey, I just realized who you are. Is this you?" And it's a letter that states how I'm a deadbeat dad, a drug dealer. I steal stuff from the Comedy Store. I had it here because I was doing a show on it the other day. But it's this whole thing that breaks it down that I'm a racist, all these things. I'm Jewish. That was when I had my first two kids, and I had them full time, and I was working full time as a teacher, and working at the Comedy Store, and taking care of them full time, and putting them in private school and everything else. So I'm doing all this, and someone writes this letter and sends it to every booker across fucking America.
Oh my gosh.
And it's talking about all this stuff, and there's a list of names on it that they will never do their club if I ever get hired. And it's like everyone from Rogan to Whitney Cummings to everyone, pretty much Ian Edwards. And Ian Edwards came up to me and said, on the street, stopped me on the street and said, "You're fucking up. You're going to fuck up your whole career, Burger." Because we were, like, he knew me. And he's like, "You're fucking up everything. You need to stop saying shit to anyone." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck, bro." I go, "I'm going to go on being me." Like, I grew up in the projects. Fuck this shit. Like, I don't buy into that crap, right? I didn't know how serious everything was. But, I mean, like, I could just go fuck people people up and get back in. It's just not my way.
Yep.
They're scared. They're cowards of people. But what they do is they do this. And so this all happened, right? So it was years later, the guy sent me the letter going, this is why no one books you. Because I was doing a show, and I was talking about how nobody will book me. And he goes, yeah, you're hysterical. He goes, and talking to you and finding out about you, obviously you're not this person.
Exactly.
But this is the letter. He goes, this is the letter that went to every club in America.
Wow.
And they sent it everywhere. And so I didn't realize, like, I got banned at the Sapphire. I got banned at Giggles. I got banned by Dave, what's his fucking face?
Attell?
No, the runs. The guy who does the runs. Dave, goddamn it. He does the runs all the way up north and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so I got banned by him. And I used to do runs for them all the time. I did all kinds of shit. I was working nonstop.
Gosh.
But the funny thing is I've never changed who I am. But people don't understand how hardcore this goes on.
It does. I've seen it. I've seen the minute, like in a certain town where I lived, I've done comedy in 4 towns. And in one of the certain towns, the minute anybody started getting booked at a certain club, then they were a piece of crap male that had done something to a woman that they hadn't done. And like you said with Kobe, it's not, nobody ever takes them to court. They just accuse and bring.
And at the same time, let me state, there are so many women that are being victimized. There are so many women that are, like, for example, that's what I'm saying, is like what Harvey Weinstein did is, like I said, he should be curb stomped. You know who else was there with Weinstein the whole fucking time? De Niro. It was his goddamn restaurant. It was his offices that Weinstein was doing this. What, you think De Niro wasn't ever there? De Niro was with him all the time in the restaurant, in his own booth, Weinstein. And that's why when De Niro came out and said, like, I'm not, like, Trump can't sit on my bench, but Weinstein can, you piece of shit, you fraud, you fake, who cheats on his wife, and that's why she was going to leave you before, you motherfucker. You see, and I hate people like that, because I love De Niro.
Yeah.
He's a fucking acting god.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my hero.
But as a human.
I don't blindly do shit. That's what I'm saying is, I don't particularly like Trump, but I like Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. I would punch that person in the neck if I saw him. But no quicker than I'd punch Hillary, Biden, or Pelosi, or Schiff, or any of them either.
Exactly.
They're all elitist pieces of crap. You know, they're all frauds. But the one beauty about Trump is he can only exceed my expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, from who he is and how he's always been, the fact of the job he's doing. If you really think of the people that have been helped in his presidency and the groups, and for the first time in our country, African Americans, I say blacks because I think it's stupid to call them all African, because my ex was from Haiti. She's not African.
Yes.
Black. So, but black people in this country have finally been getting some recognition and some like fixing of some of the shit that's been horrible, but that you're being appointed to positions of power, and people aren't getting that. That's Trump doing it. When people say he was a racist, I'm like, you can't be a racist and want to have sex with every woman in the box. That's not a real racist. Like, I think racism is fake anyway, because I've always said that sex proves racism is fake. Because a woman can be the biggest racist in the world, but if she finds a man attractive, doesn't matter his race. A man, same thing. And a man and a man, and a woman and a woman.
That's a good point.
Forget everything. Yeah. Sex conquers racism always. And it proves it to not be real, because you can't conquer something like that if it's not real. If it's real, and it's not real, it's a fraud. It's an ignorance we're taught.
Yep.
Like, people are ignorantly taught to be racist. Nobody is.
Yeah. And when you get to that age where you realize that you were programmed to think you're better than anybody, and you realize you're not, that's a good moment.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's what I say is, like, that's why. See, that's what I mean. That's why I throw people off so much. Sorry, I went right into my face. That's why I throw people off so much, because I wasn't raised that way. I don't feel guilty. The second you tell me I'm mansplaining, I'm going to tell you to get your cunt face out of my fucking way. I'm going to tell you to go die. I'm going to tell you to go walk in the street and go fuck yourself. Because not because I'm a dick and a man, because you're a dick for saying that to me. Because you don't know me. I don't hate that type of shit. I speak my mind. I speak only my truth. Like, I have no idea what the truth is. I can't. I'm not that evolved. Nobody is. I don't know the truth. I only know my truth. I only know my facts. Every fact is an opinion that people agree with, or a theory someone that enough agree with. That's all a fact is, and people don't get that. Every fact you think you have is just a thought.
Totally.
That we all agreed might be right. We didn't all agree on it.
David, I'm gonna get going and wrap this up. But David Berger, you're the kick in the pants I knew you would be. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your time in the interview. I feel like I know you now.
Well, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Facebook. I'm Berger Podcast, D Berger Comic. On TikTok, I'm D Berger 6. I don't know why I'm D Berger 6 because I'm 400 fucking years old and I don't know how to do TikTok. But yeah, so check me out everywhere, and then tell your local clubs to start booking me.
I'll do that. Perfect. I'll do that.
Linda, thank you so much. I am honored to have been on your show. You're absolutely a gem.
Thank you. You're the gem, and I'm honored you came on. Keep going. You're fabulous. Bye. Thank you. Talk to you soon, David. What a kick in the pants. Oh my gosh. Is he a pistol? He's a Spitfire pistol. Boy, oh boy. Thanks you guys for watching. Ellis, Harry, Julie, Ed, Chuck. A lot of people got on here to listen. Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Kevin Davis, Bill TC, Jennifer Cox. Thank you guys. Kyle Thomas, Zach Kaplan, Beth Templeton. I know your name like the back of my hand, Beth. Paul, awesome. Jeff Appleman from Portland, Oregon. Maddie Goldberg, love you. Maddie, Steve Hale, guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Bye.